It's time for Better Know a Deacon with your host, Kevin McAllister, and special guest, Deacon Joe.
Good afternoon. We are here with Deacon Joe, the resident deacon here at Bishop Ian High School. It's great to have you.
I'm great. I'm glad to be here, Kevin.
Now, I have a few questions for you, starting with how did you first enter the diaconate?
Yeah. It was really about maybe 10 years ago that I first felt kind of this calling, or I describe it as a tugging in my heart. I always say if you hear voices in your head, you better go see someone for help, but if you feel it in your heart, you should pay attention to it. So when I did that, I talked to a few people. I talked to a couple of other men who were deacons to get a little bit of insight into it, and then I contacted the office for the diaconate in the diocese, and talked to a Monsignor there who heads the program, expressed my interest in it, and then there's an extensive application process that you have to go through, and submitted my application and went from there. So.
And what had you done before you became a deacon?
Yeah, I've always been involved in the church. Starting at 16, I was teaching religious ed classes. I was very active in the parish in Norton, St. Mary's. I taught religious education to 8th graders for 16 years. I've also was a Eucharistic minister. I was a reader, and also headed up the parish council for a couple of years. So this kind of seemed like a natural, following.
Was it hard for you to kind of, I guess, not drop your career, but like find a new vocational calling?
Yeah, it was challenging, to be honest with you, Kevin. Unfortunately, this calling occurred when both my daughters had left home for college, and etc. So that made it a little bit easier because I was involved in a lot of youth sports and coaching and things too. Okay. So that had moved on, but I was a manager at Johnson & Johnson. It's a job that involved travel and long hours. So there was a little bit of a challenge of, trying to balance that time demands. And obviously be a husband and a father and all that, and then still start to meet the demands that the formation process of being a deacon necessitated. A lot of study and schoolwork and things like that.
Yeah, and turning your attention to that kind of process of becoming a deacon, could you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah, it was very extensive. It was over the course of 5 years. And we would, as I said, the application process was very extensive. You filled out a number of forms, you had to have letters of recommendation, you would actually meet with a psychologist, and every diaconate candidate has to do that. The church has to make sure that this is a good fit, for us and for the church. The spouses, they wanted to meet your wives and things like that. And then once you got accepted into the program, then we would meet 2 nights a week. And it would be like during the school year, like from September to May. Yeah. And we would meet for 2.5 hours each night. So you would carry 2 courses a semester, 2.5 hours each night, 2 nights a week. And you would be assessed, the priests would be your teachers. And they might give you written tests, they might give you oral exams. You would have papers, a lot of papers to write. So I really kind of went back to school in a way, and that's in addition to the daily job, being the manager at J&J and handling the obligations as a head of a family too. So you're trying to balance all those things.
Yeah, how have you found balancing everything, especially since you're a teacher too? Do you find yourself ever overextended or?
Well, I guess, yeah, and I think all of us do, in our different roles. So I think the challenge for me now is, the nice thing about being a deacon and being at a Catholic school is that I can work some of those ministries together, right? Yeah. So that's cool. But I think the challenge is during the weekends, because as a deacon, I'm assigned to a parish. The parish I'm assigned to is St. Anne's in Raynham, and I will typically assist at 3 or 4 masses every weekend, as well as perform baptisms, maybe give presentations to the religious education classes. So I may spend 6 to 8 to 10 hours a weekend at the parish.
Yeah.
And, you know, and again, you also have, you know, I'm married and I have to worry about the family, and then of course here at Fian. So you balance those things.
Yeah, and now you said you assist at St. Anne's in Raynham. What are like some of your duties as a deacon?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, obviously on the altar there's a lot to do proclaiming the gospel. When the priest asks me to, I'll prepare and give a homily. I certainly assist with communion and with the altar and all that. But I also have some sacramental roles, so I can baptize. I've baptized about 120 or 130 babies so far in 4.5 years, which I love doing. I perform wakes and committals. I've witnessed 5 weddings, including one my youngest daughter, so that was really neat. And I can perform funerals if they're outside of the Mass. If for some reason they ask that a Mass not be performed, we can still perform the funeral rites.
Yes.
And another big duty of mine is to serve. The deacon comes from the word diakonia, which is Greek for to serve. So I really have to be at the service of the bishop, the service of my pastor at St. Anne's, and so that may necessitate going to nursing homes, visiting the sick, bringing communion to people that are shut-ins. And I also give lectures to our confirmation classes. So there's a lot to do, but it's nice because I'm involved with all the different areas of the parish.
Yeah, and I mean, each part seems absolutely, completely rewarding, but do you have a certain part that, you know, sticks out to you that you just love doing?
I love baptism. I'm a sucker for baptism. I do. I enjoy the joy of the families there, and you know, it's just it's really neat. And then it's awesome for me. The feeling is awesome to know that I've been given this this beautiful duty of administering the rite of baptism, and so that these children can become adopted children of God, freed from original sin, starting their life as a Christians. It just it's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one final question for you here, Deacon Joe.
Sure.
If you had to, you know, as they say, do it all over again, would you you know, pick the same vocational path that you have?
I would. You can sense I wouldn't hesitate in that.
Yeah.
And to me, it's a beautiful ministry because it allows me to be a husband and a father, and to work in the workplace and to bear witness to my faith in that sense. But it also allows me to have a sacramental life, be involved with the sacraments, and to do the things that a deacon does. So there's this wonderful balance in the diaconal ministry that I find really attractive, and I love being part of a parish.
Yeah.
You know, they get to know you, you know, you get to know the people, and it's a pretty neat thing that happens. So I really I embrace the ministry. I love it.
Well, you're really a special guy, Deacon Joe. And
so are you, Kevin.
I want to thank you for sitting down with me, and that's all I have for you. But thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Well done.
Thank
I enjoyed it.